Okay, I'm going to be training hip internal rotation in hip flexion. So to the camera, I'll show you as best I can. This is hip flexion. My foot going outside without my thigh going outside is hip internal rotation. Okay, so how I'm going to set this up, you'd want to wear shoes because I was trying it without any footwear and it hurt my foot. So I'm at the edge of the wall here, and it's key for me to try to keep my thigh vertical or as close to vertical as I can, because if it starts to go out, that's no longer internal rotation, that's abduction, not what I want to train. So I'm now going to move my foot's hooked into the wall. I'm now going to move my torso away from this leg. So I'm scooting my butt that way. And I'm looking at my thigh now. It's still pretty vertical and my foot's going outside. So that's what I want. And then I'm gonna take my hand here and press it into my thigh so I can keep it even more vertical. And this is where I start to feel a light stretch into my hip capsule. Two things to point out here. I'm shifted my butt a little bit away from the wall because the closer my butt goes to the wall, the more my knee bends towards my torso. And that theoretically could be good, but I have limited space in this joint, meaning there's dysfunction. And I need to train in a way to try to regain that function. But if I go my butt too close to the wall, bending my knee too much, I notice a pinch, uncomfortable pinch right away, and I don't want to be training into that. I'm trying to train to avoid that, so I have to work my way into greater and greater ranges of motion, but I'm not just going to start where it's painful or pinching. So anyway, my hands are here to try to keep my thigh vertical. If I need a little more stretch, I've already been in the stretch for a while, so I'm going to spend like 30 more seconds. I want to do about 90 seconds total, but I feel like I need a little more stretch now, so I'm going to move my butt further away from this leg, just a little bit. There we go. And it's hard to relax here, but do the best you can. Try to relax. There's a lot going on though. Now what I'm going to start to do is squeeze into this area of my hip, and I'm going to achieve that more effectively by, this is why the wall is great, by pushing my right foot into the wall. So if the wall wasn't there, my foot would become straight with my knee, but since the wall's there, my foot isn't going to be able to do that. So now I'm adding tension or stiffness into my joint. I'll push a little bit harder. A little bit harder. Trying to imagine that rotation happening. The rotation. So I'm not trying to move my thigh in and out. I'm just trying to rotate my femur so it would become straight if this wall wasn't here. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, relax. I can notice all this tissue relaxing. It allows me to stretch deeper. But what I'm going to do first is keep my hand on here. And then I'm going to try to tighten up my joint once again and try to rotate my foot away from the wall. So my hand is here keeping my thigh vertical. Oh, and I'm already cramping. I'm trying to rotate my foot away from the wall, and this tissue's really shortening up, so it's hard to control. So that's why I'm getting a cramp. But I don't know if you can see in the video, but my foot's now coming away from the wall. This is quite difficult. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, okay, relax. What I'm gonna do is one more round, bringing my butt a little bit closer to the wall. So remember what that does. It bends my knee more into hip flexion. I probably can't take it that much closer, but a little bit. And even as I did that, I noticed the pinch a little bit more, but doesn't seem to be too bad. But I could even, also if I took my butt more in that direction, I can notice the pinch more too. So I have to be careful here. If you're not getting any pinch, you can push pretty hard into the motion, right? You can go to where you are able to. Trying to stretch or relax here for about 30 or 15 more seconds. Five, 4, 3, 2. I'm now going to push my foot into the wall again, imagining if the wall wasn't there, it would become straight with my thigh. That's creating engagement into my capsule of my hip. Pushing harder, harder. I'm not going to max, but I'm using a 50-60% effort, so it's quite difficult. Hold it here. 15 more seconds. Pushing my foot into the wall, imagining it would become straight with my thigh if the wall wasn't here. 5, 4, 3, 2, relax. Once again, the joint relaxes, the tissue relaxes. Now I'm gonna stiffen it up again, hold my hand here to keep my thigh vertical, try to rotate off the wall. And remember, just try to move from here. Do not use your torso, your pelvis, just try to rotate your femur. This tissue is getting tight. Oh, difficult. Really wants to cramp. Five, 4, 3, 2, relax. Okay, come off. Holy, feel the joint like crazy and the tissue around it. Now, I am going to do my left as well, but I'm going to do my left in a different way because that hip isn't dysfunctional, so I don't get the pinching. So what I'm gonna do in my left is go right into the full range of motion, not stretch, because I don't need more motion. And once I'm in the full range of motion, I might rest there 30 seconds or so, and then go right into that pushing into the wall for 45 seconds, rotating away. And that's, again, because my left hip isn't dysfunctional, so I can go right into the max range. On the right, which is dysfunctional, I'm trying to regain normal function, which means I have to go in a step-by-step process. Because if I try to go right to the end range, I'm gonna get that pinching. And if you just work into that pinching sensation, you're just going to cause probably more issue, a lot of discomfort, a lot of inflammation. You're not gonna resolve the issue.